Okay, let's keep going. So section 1.7 is about sources of data, and basically they just say that you can find a lot of data on the web, and these are sources of data from the United States government. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to do something, but before you do it, you need to send me your Gmail account, and that means you have to get a Gmail account. So if you don't have your own Gmail account, you need to create one. And I don't mean an APU account. It has nothing to do with APU. It has to be a separate Gmail account. So you have to create one. And then I'm going to post a URL on our Blackboard site, and that will take you, hopefully, to a form like this. And then then you're supposed to fill in this form with your student ID, your name, and which course you're taking. So this will be statistics, and then this one here, and then you're supposed to give me your Gmail account, and that means it's not an APU account. It should end with @gmail.com, and if you don't have one, you have to make one, and I will sometimes try to contact you through that account. And then also put your apu.ac.jp account here, and then submit it. Okay? And then, so after you submit this and I have your email account, I'm going to create another document where you can fill in two sources of government data from your country. So I want you to go out and search on the internet for two sources of government data from your country. In other words, not from, unless you're from the United States, you shouldn't use these. And put in the URL. So I'm going to create a form, and I'll share that form with you after you give me your Gmail address. I can't share it with you unless I have a Gmail address to share it with. So you have to create a Gmail address, and you have to give me that Gmail address so that I can use it and share the document. Then you're going to paste in your, or maybe I'll create a form, and you'll put in your name and these sources. Okay? Okay, very quickly they say the availability of accurate and appropriate data is essential for deriving reliable results. Of course, if you don't have accurate data and your data is not appropriate, you're not going to get reliable results. Data may be obtained from internal sources, external sources, surveys, and experiments. So don't worry about that, but many times data comes from internal sources such as companies' personnel files or accounting records. For example, a company that wants to forecast the future sales of its product may use the data of past periods from its records. For most studies, however, all the data that are needed are not usually available from internal sources. In such cases, one may have to depend on outside sources to obtain data. These sources are called external sources. For instance, the Statistical Abstract of the United States, published annually, which contains various kinds of data on the United States, would be called an external data source of data. Okay? Okay, now here we have some exercises. Explain the difference between cross-section and time series data. You should be able to do that. Give two examples. Give an example of each type. Describe the difference between internal and external data sources. Classify which of these are cross-section and which of these are time series. That shouldn't be too hard. Same thing here. And you can check the answers. Okay, last thing is section 1.8, which is the summary. Which is a summation notation. So I'll stop the video here and do that next.